Hi, this is Subhayan Chakraborty for Revsportz right here from the Super Sport Park in Centurion. So what happened in the first training of the South African team ahead of the Boxing Day test here in Centurion? I'll give you all the updates relating to their training session and whatever happened in that session. It was a long session, so all the South African players, almost all of them were there. Tony Dezorzi and Keshav Maharaj were the only two players who were not present in today's practice session, where all the South African players who were present here in the ground, they all had a good full tilt of session ahead of the game against India. India will start training from today, so we will also give you all the updates as to what happened in the Indian training and the glimpses as well. But the biggest takeaway from the South African practice has to be the availability of Lungi, Ngidi and Kagiso Rabada. So both of them are still suffering, have not completely recovered from their respective injuries. Lungi Ngidi had a left ankle sprain. Kagiso Rabada had a heel issue, but both of them came out for the practice session, which was South Africa's first ahead of the test series, and both of them had a good half an hour, 45 minutes of bowling under the sun in the center wicket. And both of them were looking really good, especially Kagiso Rabada. He's going to be one player to watch out if he goes on to play. South African head coach did say that we are going to take it one day at a time and then think about whether both Lungi Ngidi and Kagiso Rabada can play the game or not. So they are still not fully fit, but yes, these 2 days building up to the first test will give you a lot of idea about whether Kagiso and Lungi are available for the match. Also present were Temba Bavuma, the test captain. He's returning after a short break. And he looked in good touch. Dean Elgar playing his farewell test series against India, and there has been a lot of controversy around Dean Elgar's retirement. And even the coach said that the less amount of test cricket which South Africa is playing only 4 test matches in the year 2024. So that has also played somewhat a role in Dean Elgar hanging his boot from international cricket. Dean will continue to play first class cricket, so that makes things even more interesting. But the South African head coach Conrad did say that we will try our best to give Dean Elgar a perfect farewell in terms of test cricket, and also praised about his characteristic, about what kind of determination and the characters he brings to the team. So of course it's going to be an emotional one for Dean Elgar. He did bat against Lungi Ngidi and Kagiso Rabada in the middle and looked in decent touch. He was timing the ball well. It was a very easy going session for the South African team. They did bowl the bowlers, all 5 pacers, be it Kagiso Rabada, Lungi Ngidi, Marco Jansen, Gerald Coetza, or even their last left-hander option Nandre Berger. They all looked in good touch. The likes of Gerald and the Nandre Berger, they were looking like they were bowling full tilt. They wanted to prove themselves in the net section in front of the coach, and it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a battle for one spot between Gerald Coetza and Nandre Berger. Both of them bring different sort of quality. Nandre Berger has that left arm angle, can swing the ball, can move the ball both ways, whereas Gerald Coetza is pace, has some fearsome factor in him. So it remains to be seen which player gets the nod. But as the curator said, this pitch will provide assist for the pacers and spinners as well. So I'm thinking that South Africa might go with 4 pacers and then 1 spinner in Keshav Maharaj. Back in 2021-22 series when India played here against South Africa, defeated South Africa, out of 40 wickets, 38 of them were taken by pacers. Only 2 of them came in the bag of Ravichandran Ashwin, which were the wickets of Lungi Ngidi and Kagiso Rabada in the second inning. So clearly this ground has been in favor of the pacers. But yes, the curator said that there has been slight changes to the pitch, to the mixture of the pitch. The kind of clay content has been increased, so that will help the spinners get turn, get bounce, which makes Ravichandran Ashwin an interesting interesting choice, but if the weather for the first two tests is going to be a bit dicey, 80 to 90% chances of rain in the first two tests, then Shardul Thakur might be the option for the Indian team. But yes, we will come to that when India trains, and we'll collect some information on whether the Indian team is looking to play an extra seamer in Shardul Thakur or will go with Ravichandran Ashwin as they did in the 21 series. But the biggest takeaway from the South African camp, Lungi and Ngidi, Kagiso, Rabada bowling in full tilt. The Pacers looked in good touch. Aiden Markram, Kyle Verreynne, they all had a good session of half an hour session of batting. So the South African team, they want this final frontier to remain undefeated. India have not yet won a series in South Africa, so that will be a challenge for the South African team and for the Indian team as well. So a good series awaits us. But that's it for this video. Updates from the South African nets. India will train today, as I said, so we'll bring you all the updates from the Indian session as well. So keep watching Revsportz for more.